What is up, people of the Prep1 Podcast fandom, universe, world, whatever you want to call it? I am back, Jerry, the Jer Bear Alvarez, here loud and proud for episode 10. Episode 10. I know when me and Ryan first started this, we didn't think we would get to at least this point and already have the success and the following that we have. And that's all thanks to you guys. And we love you for it. And thank you so much. Like we said last week, I am going to be flying solo today. Ryan's enjoying himself right now away on some personal business, but he will be back soon. So it'll just be the Jer Bear Show today, coming to you live, proud and happy. It's been a great week of football, great week of volleyball. It's come down to the wire for volleyball. It's coming down to the wire for football. So there's a lot to talk about, a lot to get into for those two. And it's just been really exciting up to this point, guys. If you've truly been following all season long, all of these sports, it has just been nothing but the best competition this year, I believe, that El Paso has seen in a long time. And with that being said, cross country is already in the thick of it. Good luck to all the athletes. I do not have a cross country segment for you all today because they are competing tomorrow. Which today's Sunday, tomorrow's Monday. They are competing to Monday, the 24th of October, out in, I believe it was Lubbock, the regionals. So good luck to all you cross-country athletes out there. Good luck to everyone that's traveling. Please be safe, get out there safely, and we hope to hear nothing but success all across the board and have a great showing coming up in a little bit at state. So good luck to all of you guys. Keep SBG. You all know what SBG is. Show up, ball out, get noticed. That's what we do here at Prep 1. We show up, we ball out, we get noticed, and that's what these athletes have been doing all year. That's what these El Paso kids have been doing all year. And this is, once again, we say it every show, this is your platform to push you over the edge and get you to that next level, get you up there, get you noticed, and we are going to notice you, and everyone else is going to notice you. So shout out to everyone going forward, and good luck to all the cross-country athletes. Right now, like I said earlier, we are in the nitty-gritty of the volleyball season. It has come down to this. It is exciting. We've seen it all year. A lot of good matches, a lot of good play by a lot of these girls. So let's just get right into it. We had a good week here. Today's volleyball recap is brought to you by My Designs Photography and Peach Wave Frozen Yogurt. Look them up, guys, on Instagram, okay, and Twitter and all of that. Oh, and also, before I forget, follow us on Twitter, guys, at Prep1 Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Prep1 Podcast. And I keep pushing the TikTok. I know I'm slacking it. That's my fault. I apologize for that. There's sometimes some technical difficulties. But as you know, we work with Football Friday night, so sometimes it kind of makes it difficult to be filming and stuff. But I promise I will try to get more content out on that platform. But please follow us. The more that we get following, the more we can do for you guys, and the better it is. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, My Designs and Peach Wave. Find them on Instagram. Find them on Twitter. Once again, follow us, guys. And also follow us to announce the cross-country results as well throughout the week. Now, volleyball recap from this past week, guys. It was a big one. So we'll just kind of get right through it, kind of run through a lot of these scores real quick. Some of them are of note. Okay, Emmanuel Christian beats Dallas 3-0. The very next day, they do the same thing again, 3-0. Yeah, I believe I believe they're probably already in their playoffs. So that was probably like a series there. So what we'll see. Well, I'll double check on that. Tornillo takes down Lydia Patterson 3-0. Isleta loses to Horizon 3-1 in a district showing right there. Sanelli takes care of business against Riverside 3-0. El Dorado takes care of Socorro 3-1. You have Bowie take care of Harmony Science 3-1. Del Valle goes down to Hanks. Hanks takes care of business 3-2. It was a battle right there. We'll see the standings right now. We have out of volleyball, we already have crowned some champions, so we'll get into that in a little bit. Andrews played Jefferson. They lose to Jefferson 3-2 and another close one. Bel Air takes care of business against Parkland 3-0. El Paso High. I remember this game was a big one. Some people started getting surprised and were a little worried, like, oh no, Burgess might give it to him. But Paso High decided to come out strong and they take down Burgess 3-1. As Ryan likes to say, they forgot their brooms at home. They did not sweep the Mustangs this time. But El Paso High staying strong, got a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. The Montwood Rams, the 6A. We were talking about 6A. A lot of people we tell, oh, you favor 6A. No, we're not favoring 6A. It's just great competition. Montwood takes down the Eastwood Troopers 3-1. Coronado takes down Americas 3-0. Chapin Huskies take down the Canutillo Eagles 3-0. Pebble Hill Spartans take down the Franklin Cougars 3-1, and the Fabens Wildcats take care of business against Mountain View 3-0. Moving forward again onto Friday, you had Del Valle 3-1 over Isleta, Clint 3-0 over Riverside. Socorro goes down once again to Coronado 3-0. Jefferson takes care of business against Canutillo 3-0. Horizon 3-1 over Bel Air. They redeemed themselves. The Paso High Tigers 3-0 over Chapin. They brought their brooms on Friday. They got that sweep. Franklin takes care of business against Eastwood 3-1. You have Burgess redeeming themselves after losing to El Paso, taking care of business against Andrews 3-1. Taking care of business is the phrase of the day, guys, as you can tell. So let's say again, taking care of business. Sanelli over Mountain View 3-1. Irvin takes care of business against Austin 3-0. They brought their brooms out. They swept another team that brought their brooms out. Hanks over Parkland 3-0. Pebble Hills 3-1 over Eastlake, and Montwood closes it off with a 3-0 win over El Dorado. This week, guys, was real big in getting themselves settled into the playoff picture, because some teams across the board, guys, was they already had their markings on the wall as to what was going to be for them in the season. Some of them bad. They already know their season's done. They just got to go through these games on Tuesday, and that's it. Others already know they're going into first. Some are still going to second. But this week, you still got some that are fighting for that second, third place spot a little bit, just kind of trying to find out whether or not they're going to have that home court advantage going into the first round of the playoffs. Our Soaring 7 for this week is brought to you by Veronica Reynolds Garcia Photography and SJE Photography. Again, guys, look them up on Instagram and on Twitter. Thank you for our sponsors sponsoring today's volleyball Soaring 7. Our Soaring 7, number 1 from Canutillo, you have Alexa Martinez. She had 9 kills, 1 ace, 4 assists, and 2 digs versus a big win against Chapin. You had Pebble Hills, Ariana Helbling, 50 assists, 5 kills, 1 ace versus Franklin. Burgess, you had Natalia Cano, 40 assists, 7 digs, 4 kills versus Andrews. These are names we've heard before, guys. Doesn't surprise me, especially right now. They're still playing strong. They're still playing hard. They're still SBGing out there going into the playoffs. Coronado, you have Ellie Miller, 7 kills, 1 block, 8 digs, 1 ace versus Socorro. You had Montwood Kennedy Garcia, 39 assists, 6 digs, 3 kills versus El Dorado. Franklin Jordan Imperial, 23 kills, 30 digs versus Eastwood. And in the rounding off our Soaring 7, you have Alyssa R, 40 assists, 12 digs, 3 aces versus Bell. Big congrats to all these girls. They are still playing strong. They're doing great now in the last 2 games, one game of the season. So this is perfect SPG all the way through the season, through the playoffs, all the way to that championship, guys. God willing, let's go. You keep doing what you're doing. And I am proud to be able to do this and follow everybody along in your journey. And this is just our platform to get you noticed, because you guys compete directly against football, which is number one in here in this country. But you girls here in El Paso, we're gonna get you noticed, and you girls are doing you right now. You do you. That is what we need you to do. Current standings right now in the district: number one for 6A and your district 6A champions, Coronado T-Birds, with a perfect 14-0 going into this final week. You have Eastwood coming in at second, 11-4, Montwood 10-5, Franklin 9-6. You have Pebble Hills 10-7, Eastlake 7-9, Americas 5-10, Eldorado 2-13, and Socorro 0-14 down at the bottom. Your top four are right there: Coronado, Eastwood, Montwood, and Franklin. And Pebble Hills is also in that mix. So it's really interesting to see how this week stacks up, how everyone finishes. But you already know Coronado for sure has punched their ticket into the state playoffs. They are your district champs. Congrats to Coronado T-Birds as moving forward. Our district 5A Division 1 district here is El Paso High, 14-0. We've been talking about these girls all year. They are your district 5A Division 1 champions. Congrats to those girls, balling hard all year, SBGing, taking out their brooms every week, doing what they need to do to get it done. They are your district champs. You got Burgess coming in at second at 10-3, Jefferson at 8-6, Andress 4-9, Chapin 3-11, Canotillo 2-12. This district pretty much is already set. You got your top four teams going into the playoffs, going into this week. Not really any need for switching around. You got El Paso High, your district champs, punching their ticket in, along with Burgess, Jefferson, and Andress. It looks like moving forward. So congrats to those girls, all of their big representation going into the playoffs. 5A Division 2, you have Hanks coming out and undefeated 9-0 in district. They are your district champs. Big congrats to the Hanks Knights. Isleta coming in at second, 6-3. Del Valle 4-4. Bel Air 4-5, Horizon 4-6, and Parkland down there, unfortunately, at the bottom, 0-9. Big congrats to Hanks, showing out all year long. They punched their ticket in as district champs going into the playoffs. Isleta and Del Valle. Isleta has already punched their ticket in there going into the playoffs. So big congrats to all these teams going forward. In Class 4A Division 1, District 4A, you have Irvin being your top dogs at 9-2. All of pretty much got it done. You got Young Women's Team Research at 7-3 at number 2. Big shout out to those girls, because like I said, I believe I said it last week, these smaller schools, private schools, technical schools, specialist schools, whatever it is, they're high on academics. They really are. And a lot of times, unfortunately, sports takes a back seat to that. Not unfortunate. You got your academics is going to get you where you need to go. Academics always come first. It's just, it is very hard for an athlete who really is great at their academics to really show out and excel on a sports team, because of the academic standing that is required for a lot of these kids. And when I see this right here, pretty much solidifying their second place spot, they're going into the playoffs. Big congrats to them. Big congrats to Irvin. Both those teams really showing out and balling out hard. Austin's coming in at third. Bowie's coming in fourth. Harmony Science Academy is down at the bottom, 1-10 in district. But right there, you got your four top dogs right there out of that district going into the playoffs. It doesn't matter what positioning they will end up in. It is you got your four great prospects representation going into the state playoffs. A big, once again, not playing favoritism, just I know coming from a small school, coming from an academic school, young women's STEAM research academy, you guys rock. You guys continue doing what you're doing, and hopefully you guys make a good run into the playoffs. In our Class 4A Division 2, we have Clint currently sitting up there 4-1. You got Fabens 5-2, Sanelli 5-2, Riverside 2-5, Mountain View 0-6, and Young Women's Leadership Academy. We don't really have the record, but they're sitting down there at the bottom. The reason why these records kind of seem a little off is because of they kind of all beat each other a little bit. This district's kind of a little crazy. It's not a strong volleyball district, but they kind of beat each other a little bit, so that's why it's kind of a little weird right there. But it looks like we're gonna have our top four teams solidified: Clint, Fabian, Sanelli, and Riverside going into the playoffs. Good job, girls. Good luck to all of you pushing into that 4A playoff bracket. Now moving forward to this week, some big matchups, but again, like I said, we have a lot of solidified positioning into the playoffs. Some of these are just for bragging rights. Some of these are just for just to position yourself in a better spot going into the playoffs. And some of them is just to end the year off on a good note. But this Tuesday are all the games on Tuesday. So good luck to all these girls. This volleyball preview is brought to you by Raise Up the Bar Fitness and Rudy Davila Photography. Please look them up on Twitter, on Instagram. Thank you to our sponsors. Keep doing what you're doing, guys. SBG out there. Now, our volleyball preview on Tuesday, like I said, all these games are on Tuesday, guys. So if you have a chance on Tuesday, free time, go check these out. It's the last game of the regular season for all of these teams. They are going to SBG. They are going to ball out. They are going to do great things. So go check out these girls before they move on into the playoffs. You got Crane taking on Tornillo. Isleta going to be taking on Hanks Knights. Riverside will be taking on Emmanuel Christian. Harmony will take on Austin. I believe I said Emmanuel Christian might have been in their playoffs already. Since they're taking on Riverside, they are not. So that answers my question right there. But the Riverside taking on Emmanuel Christian. Harmony Science is taking on Austin. Bowie will be taking on Harmony School. Again, two different schools, guys. They're not playing the same team at the same place. They're playing at the same time. Two different schools, two different teams. Bel Air will take on Del Valle. El Paso takes on Canotillo. Eastwood takes on Eastlake. Fabens will take on Sanelli. Mountain View takes on Clint. Coronado takes on the Rams out of Montwood. Andrews and Chapin. And El Dorado and Franklin. Go out there and visit them. Go see them, guys. Big shout out to all these girls. Great showing all year long. Hopefully we get some good games on Tuesday moving in, and the playoffs, guys, so you can follow along and also see who's going to be playing where and what time. We will try to release that at the latest by next week's show, since we do record on Sundays. It will be on Halloween Day is when the playoffs start for Texas high school volleyball, guys. So keep a lookout for that. After Tuesday, the brackets should come out. So we'll look out for that. We'll try to release those up on our Twitter as soon as we get that out to you guys, so everyone can see and you guys have access to that. And we will go over the brackets on next week's show. We will go over all of it and our opinions and our standings, and looking forward to see who has the best chance of making the great run into the playoffs. So really look out for that, guys. This has been your volleyball preview here. We still got, I'm sorry, I forgot this. We have Americas taking on Socorro, Jefferson taking on Burgess, and Parkland taking on Horizon. Check all of those games out, guys, moving forward. Okay. All these girls deserve the support. They've been busting their butts all year long, kicking ass, taking names. So get out there, guys, support them. Again, I sound like a broken record, but I want to really emphasize they compete against the most popular sport in America, that is football, and they do it because they love the game, because they're good at it, because they're the best at it. And I really hope we have multiple teams make a run in the playoffs, because we have the talent here in El Paso. We have the tenacity and we have the intensity, the heart to do great things here in the sport of volleyball. And so Tuesday, end of the season, Monday, business picks up really quick. So once again, we'll get those brackets out to you. We'll talk about them next week. And good luck to all these girls out there. That has been your volleyball preview for today. Once again, uh, cross country. I'm going to remind you throughout the show, guys. Cross country tomorrow in Lubbock. Look out for the results there. Good luck to them. Volleyball will start their playoffs on Monday, Halloween. Tuesday, their final regular season games. Like I said, most of them, the number one spot has been solidified, so there's no really uh, challenge there for a district championship. So congrats to all our district champions out of volleyball. The second place, third place, all those spots around there, with the exception of District 4A, Division 2, I believe. Those are still kind of like up and down, but most everyone is pretty much solidified going into the playoffs. 1 and 2, you guys will, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe you get home court advantage. 3 and 4, you guys are visiting, and then the next phase of the playoffs, they have to go to a neutral site. I believe that's how it works, or they might just go neutral from the get-go. But they will, since the way these districts have been put out, I believe it's like football as well. They will not be playing. You will no longer have teams play each other from here in El Paso the way they redid these districts. So, quick explanation for all of you that don't understand. In the past, the way it still is, for the classifications, class 6A, 5A, 4A, 3A, it's based on your school population. It's not based on how good your team is. It's not based on anything like that. Here in Texas, it's based on your school population. It's not like other states that do that, because there are some 3A schools out in East Texas that could really take it to some 6A schools. So that's it. Doesn't matter what your skill level is. It is based off of your school population. So that's number one. Number two, the way they redid the districts this year, it used to be District 1, District 2 here in El Paso. Now it's all District 1, Division 1, or Division 2. Division 1 is your big schools, meaning you're on the upper side of the population cutoff point. The Division 2 is you're on the lower side of the division cutoff point, and you're the small schools. So automatically, when they go into the playoffs, they're going to go right ahead and boom, play some team going east, that is part of their same school population level. So you will no longer have a Del Valle versus Chapin type matchup, 5A, 5A, District 1 versus District 2. Now it'll be Del Valle going to play someone out there. It's going to be El Paso High playing someone from out there, east side. So East Texas, going east, not East Texas, West Texas, but you know what I mean. Sorry. It is really, really good, guys, for these girls. I really like the way this is being handled, because now we get good competition right off the bat. In the past, unfortunately, we've had some teams end up playing, unfortunately, mediocre teams coming out of here that just made it because of a small district, and you don't get that really good ball, the really good motion going into the playoffs once you start playing these bigger schools. Right off the bat, you're going to play big schools. So shout out to these girls. Good luck moving forward. And SBG, it's all I can say. SBG. Now, moving on to my favorite one of all. Football, baby girls. Football, baby boys. Football, ladies and gentlemen. Football, yes, sir. I know I'm excited. I'm kind of hyper right now, but I don't care. Football recap. It is brought to you by Homegrown Photography by with Bridget Armendariz. Yeah, bigophotos.com. Once again, Instagram, Twitter, look them up, guys. Follow us. I'm gonna say it all show. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram, and find us at all the football games. We're going to try and catch some volleyball playoff games, and I'll see about going. We might be at some games on Tuesday. We will announce it on our Twitter. So, football guys, we had a big week. You can already see some of the scores here. Biggest game of the week was really looking to be a showdown of the number one teams in 6A. Turned out to kind of be of a dud for most people. I think it was awesome because it really truly showed who is out there to take what's there for the taking. Pebble Hills Franklin went to war on Thursday night. They were the first game of the week. What a way to kick off the week of football. Pebble Hills comes out on top 34-14. From the get-go, guys, they were just balling out and did not look back. Franklin looked like they hit a wall and just couldn't overcome it. Unfortunately, Franklin still is a very strong team. Take nothing away from them. Pebble Hills just really showed what they got. They showed all the naysayers that they are truly want to be that number one team coming out of 6A. Never mind any blemishes on the record. Same for Franklin. They are going to continue moving forward. They're going to continue doing, like I said, they've still got a couple of games left here in the year. One thing of note, Pebble Hills, they are going to play this week. Their bye week is not till next week. The final week of the regular season is Pebble Hills bye week. So Pebble Hills has been put through the ringer all year long. Every single week they've played a game every single week since week 1, have not had a bye. So big props to those boys out there. They're going to continue fighting strong with these last 2 games in the season. For them, 1 game, they got 1 more game this week, and then they finally get to have a week of rest before the playoffs, which is great. Jumping ahead, skipping Friday a little bit, we had on Saturday Cathedral traveling up into New Mexico to go take on St. Michael's Horsemen out in Santa Fe. They fall short. St. Michael's took it to them 55-30. It is really hard to travel out of El Paso and really play well. But big shout out to Cathedral, going up there representing El Paso, doing decent up there. St. Michael's is a very good New Mexico team. So good shout out to them as well. But unfortunately, Cathedral goes down to St. Michael's. Pecos, this one was kind of surprising to me personally. On Friday night, Clint goes out to Pecos. Pecos did not impress me at all when they played against Fabens and I saw them in person. Pecos used to be that 4A powerhouse, but now it does not seem so. For whatever reason, something happened and it looks like they're in an off year. Clint also seems like they're in off year, but I did not think that this was to that extent. Pecos takes it to Clint 33-7 as the Clint Lions fall short. Pecos, big props to them. Clint really needs to dig themselves out of the hole if they want any chance of making the playoffs. There's still a chance, but Pecos really took it to them 33-7. Fort Stockton, and we've been talking about them all year long. They have really been just manhandling all these El Paso teams, not just in their class 4A, also in class 5A. They are just a dominant team this year, and look for them to really make a push into the playoffs. They take down Mountain View 62-21. They traveled here and took them out. So big shout out to Fort Stockton. Mountain View, again, doesn't knock them out of the playoffs. I believe they will be in the playoffs. They just got to really fight that much harder. This week's not going to be that much easier. We'll get into that in a little bit. Fabens goes out to Monahans. Monahans is your district powerhouse next, above all of them. They took it to Fort Stockton. Them and Fort Stockton really had a hard showdown a couple of weeks ago. Monahans takes down Fabian 61-0. Pretty much was expected in that game. Sonora takes down Anthony 48-6. Unfortunately, Anthony has not been able to get out of this slump that they're in. They will not be in the playoffs. They're just right now playing for pride, playing for just to end the season off on a good note. So good luck to them. Tornillo had to forfeit their game against Crane. This is nothing new. Unfortunately, Tornillo has always struggled, especially when grades come out and especially getting numbers out there if kids get hurt. So unfortunately, they had to forfeit their game against Crane. So and already, their season is all but over. So we'll see moving forward if they do play another game or not. Riverside, Austin. Now, this was a good one. This was to decide who currently would take the first place spot out of District 4A Division 1. Riverside has been a powerhouse all year long with Angel Moon, with Speedy Angel, and with Guardado and everyone on that offensive side of the ball. They got so many weapons. It's just ridiculous. It's sickening, honestly, how good this team is. They had that one blemish. They really got their eyes opened up wide by Bushland. I know they don't like it, but hopefully they can use this as fuel if they hear me saying this, that of what Bushland did to them. That way, if they do meet up back in the playoffs, they can really take it to these teams. Riverside struggled a little bit in the first half. A lot of people thought Riverside was just going to run away with this, but Austin. The thing about Austin is they're a very good ball control team. They are a very good team at just keeping the ball and running it down your throat. And that's what they did in the first half. And for a little bit, Austin had the lead. And Riverside really had to muster up something and really figure out a way to get out there. And they did. They succeeded. And Riverside gets your win 33-13 over Austin. They are currently sitting at number 1, Austin at number 2, moving forward into these last couple of weeks of the season. Isleta Horizon. Isleta beats Horizon 44-23. Nothing really changes there. It was Horizon was looking to win their first game, but unfortunately they did not get it done. Bowie takes it to Sanelli, another one that was pretty much expected, 31-14. I do know last week I said I was going to be out at Bowie Sanelli covering for Football Friday nights. But like we said, guys, things can change at the drop of the hat. And they did. I actually got told really last minute, hey, we actually need you to go out to Jefferson to check out Anderson Jefferson. So I was actually out at Jefferson High School on Friday night as the Andrews Eagles really just manhandled the Jefferson Silver Foxes. They could not get anything done offensively whatsoever. On the offensive side of the ball for Andrus, it literally was the Malcolm Anderson show. If you were hearing 600, you heard me, and everyone agreed. It was the Malcolm Anderson show. He got the balls the majority of the time. He ran it down their throats. Elias Duncan had very few passes, but when they completed, they counted. They were for a point, and he got Sean Owens twice for a 78-yard touchdown pass and a 68-yard touchdown pass. So shout out to all those players. Also, a big shout out to Malcolm Anderson, who got his D1 offer to Tarleton State University. So big shout out to Malcolm Anderson. He had a big game, ends the weekend off with an offer. So great showing. He SBG'd, he got noticed, and just gets the win 49-6 all over Jefferson. Moving on, this was also a big hyped up big match game between Parkland and Bel Air. Bel Air really, this was the game to really prove a point, but unfortunately their starting running back was hurt. He was down, so they were down a man. They were not full strength, but I do not take anything away from Parkland. Parkland started off the year very slow, very just questionable, and it was uncertain how they were going to do. They have fought back, currently sitting at number 2 in the district, I believe. Yes, 2 in the district behind Del Valle. They lost to Del Valle. Bel Air doesn't get any easier. They still need to take on Del Valle and really show what they got if they want to show that they are truly a great team. And I do believe they are. I do believe they are. Unfortunately, they were down a man. They lost to Parkland 44-21, but that's their first loss of the year. That says a lot about this Bel Air Highlander team to be here at this point of the year with just 2 games left, then only 1 loss. I mean, that is just tremendous. Great job, guys. Keep it up. Moving into the playoffs, with Parkland gets your win 44-21 over the Bel Air Highlanders. Del Valle gets a big win. Surprise, surprise, 63-7 over the Hanks Knights. Not much to say there. Eastwood takes out Montwood 43-17. A lot of people expected this to happen that way, but not so blatantly just all Eastwood. That's all I can say. It was just all Eastwood. 43-17 over Montwood. Eastwood just dominated this game. El Paso High surprised everyone as their starting running back came back out and played. They are practically at full strength once again. A lot of people believe it. They were at full strength the past few weeks. They truly would have won all those games. I believe so. They are a very, very good football team. They take down the Burgess Mustangs 27-16. That pretty much solidifies their spot into the playoffs. Great job, El Paso High Tigers. El Dorado takes it to Socorro, so nothing really much to say here. El Dorado 50-0 over the Socorro Bulldogs. The Estrada brothers just ran all over them. The Coronado Thunderbirds and the Americas Trailblazers. This turned out to be the game of the week. Everyone thought Americas was going to come and just blow out Coronado, but Coronado said, we're here to play. We're here to show up. We're here to SBG. You want it, come get it. And they took it to Americas. They fell short, unfortunately, and Americas wins it with a go-ahead, get off the field field goal, 38-35 over the Coronado Thunderbirds. They just showed up, balled out, got noticed. Every single player, great game. I wish I was there. Good job to both those teams. Ganotillo takes care of business over Chapin, ends their winning streak, ends Chapin's undefeated district streak here. Ganotillo pretty much has solidified their spot in the playoffs. Chapin still, can really needs a couple more games, but they also are doing decent in districts. So they pretty much are looking to completely turn their program around after starting off, 0-5, I believe, 0-6, something like that. So they are doing great things. So good, but good job to Ganotillo and all of them out there, LJ Martin and all those guys. Now here's our standings going into week 9. Okay, so we have 2 more games left, guys. 2 more games left in the season, or two regular season games. Not like I said, Pebble Hills will not play next week. They will play this week, not next week, because that's their bye. But Pebble Hills currently sits at number 1 in 6A with a 6-1 record. Eastlake sits at number 2, along with Eastwood, tied for second place. Franklin is in 4th. America's right behind them. El Dorado, Montwood, Coronado, Socorro down at the bottom. So again, guys, this is a really great competition for this district, because pretty much you have the two top spots still up for grabs. Pebble Hills pretty much is really up there. Like, if they win, they're in. They know that they're more than likely are the district champs. But you got Eastlake and Eastwood there, and Franklin and Americas all fighting for those last few spots, seeing who's going to end up where, who's going to be where. So this is really fun to see what's going to happen these next 2 weeks moving forward. In 5A Division 1, you have Ganotillo at the top, number 1, Chapin number 2, El Paso High number 3, Andrews number 4, Burgess and Jeff down at the bottom. So you pretty much got your 4 teams that are going to be going into the playoffs. It's just a matter of where they're going to be seated coming forward. But those looks like right now you got your 4 teams going into the playoffs. Gacano, Theo, Chapin, El Paso, Andres. Unfortunately, Burgess and Jeff coming on that lower end. So good job to them. Great job, guys. Good showing. Hopefully, once the playoffs come around, you guys make a run. 5A Division 2, you have Del Valle at number 1, Parkland number 2, Bel Air number 3, Isleta number 4, Hanks down there number 5, and Horizon. Again, Horizon, unfortunately, their season's all but over. Just playing for pride at this point. Del Valle, more than likely your top dogs out of this district. Parkland, Bel Air, gonna looking to see where people are gonna stack up. If Bel Air can upset Del Valle, who knows? We'll see. It might stir the pot a little bit. You might get a 3-way tie for that number 1 spot. If Bel Air does beat Del Valle, so that'd be crazy there to see what happens moving forward, because they all would have already pretty much beating each other there, with Del Valle beating Parkland, Parkland beating Bel Air, and if Bel Air beats Del Valle, it would be a 3-way just to kind of see what happens there. We might have a coin flip to see who gets the first place spot. So that's going to be a game to watch. Hopefully Bel Air gets their running back in time and he's healthy, so he can really show up, and it's just not going to get any easier. But Bel Air really has a really tough hill to climb against Del Valle coming up. And Isleta sitting right there, and Hanks right there at the bottom. So we'll see going forward who's seated where, what's going to happen, who's in, who's out. But more than like, so for sure, you got Del Valle, Parkland, Bel Air in the playoffs out of this district. District 4A Division 1. District 1 4A Division 1. You have Riverside, your top dogs, more than likely going to stay there the rest of the season. Bowie at number 2, Austin at number 3, Irvin and Sanelli down at the bottom have not won a district game. For sure, you have Riverside, Bowie, and Austin moving forward. And then you have Irvin and Sanelli down there. More likely, Irvin will take that 4th place spot going into the playoffs. So that's more than likely you're going to have your 4 teams right there going forward. So we'll see. That's my prediction right there. But for sure, Riverside, Austin, Bowie going forward into the playoffs. District 4A Division 2. This is the one where you have a lot of out-of-town teams in this one, and unfortunately, the El Paso teams are down at the bottom. You got Monahans just dominating as the top dogs right there, 3-0 in district. Fort Stockton 3-1. Fort Stockton has the better record overall, but they did lose to Monahans a couple of weeks ago, like I said, so they are at number 2. Pecos is sitting at number 3 after a couple of wins over El Paso teams, a win over Fabens and a big win over Clint, which surprises me. Clint currently sits at that 4th place spot. Everyone thought Mountain View was going to have it, but Clint did beat Mountain View 28 by a point, 28-27, I believe. So that's that solidifying factor there. So we'll see moving forward if Mountain View can pull off an upset against Monahans this week. That's really gonna stir some things down at that bottom half of that district. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Moving forward to our football preview, brought to you by Daniel Romero Photography and Raymond A. Lerma Photography. Thank you for all our sponsors. Thank you for everything you've done moving forward. Just big thanks, guys. I mean, there's nothing else I can say to all of them. Here's our football preview. On Thursday, we kick things off this week with Pebble Hills versus Eastlake, number 1 versus number 2 in the district. This is a big game, guys, to really see who's gonna be the top dog, who's gonna move forward. It's gonna stir things up if Eastlake does take down Pebble Hills. So it's gonna be really exciting to see this game, guys. Like I said, there's 2 games left in the season. Pebble Hills, this is their last game If I saw the scheduling correctly, I believe this is their last game and they have a bye week next week. So that's go Thursday night, guys. Go out there, another big one. Pebble Hills versus East Lake. Let's make our predictions here. Once again, Ryan's not here, so guess what? Boom, he's gonna pick opposite of me. I just know how he is. That's how he works. Pebble Hills, East Lake. I am gonna take the Spartans in this one. I'm gonna take Pebble Hills. I'm gonna say they continue their dominance and they stay your district champs of 6A and be number one at the end of the year. Coronado Socorro, battle of beatings in the 6A. They have not won a game. Socorro has really struggled all year. They have not won a game at all. So I'm going to go with Coronado. This is the matinee game on Friday at 4 o'clock at the SAC. Coronado should handle Socorro pretty easily in this one. Monahan's Mountain View. This is a 6 o'clock kickoff, guys. 6 o'clock kickoff because Monahan's is coming from out of town. So they, in that district, the El Paso teams do compensate and do have the game an hour earlier. So Monahan's versus Mountain View, 6 o'clock kickoff at Mountain View High School. Unfortunately, I don't see Mountain View coming out of this unscathed. Monahan's is going to take the big win over Mountain View. They just continue dominating. They are just a force to reckon with. They are really, really good this year. Alpine Torneo, we will see if this game is played or not. As you know, they forfeited their game against Crane last week, so we will see if the game does take place. I will take Alpine in this one. I don't see Torneo really doing much. Isleta del Valle. Del Valle is just dominant right now. Isleta just struggling all year long. Del Valle is going to take this one easy. Austin Bowie, this one should be a good one. Bowie has really stepped it up in the second half of the season. Austin has been decent all year long. They took it to Riverside last week. So that should be good. This is really going to decide who's in that second place spot. I am going to pick Austin over Bowie in this one on Friday night. And then Bel Air takes on Horizon. So Bel Air, after having a tough game, tough loss against Parkland, they pretty much get an easy opponent in Horizon moving forward before they have that showdown with Del Valle. So hopefully they can heal up and play, maybe put in some of the backups. Maybe I'm not trying to take too much away from Horizon, but unfortunately, Horizon is all but done this year. Bel Air should get a big win over Horizon and a great showing. Eastwood versus Franklin. This is another one that's going to be big implications into who's going to be seated where. Franklin, again, has been dominant. Eastwood has really been good, and they've had their moments where they've kind of struggled. Franklin's been a little more consistent, but I will take Franklin in this one. But a win. It's not going to be a big win. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be close, but I got Franklin over Eastwood on Friday in this one. Burgess Andress. I saw Andress. Burgess I have not seen this year, but Burgess has not have a great showing this year. Andress is really good. They got some good weapons. They got some good teams. They do struggle a little bit, but not too much. I believe Andress is going to get the win on this one. Big win. Anthony versus Regan County. Fortunately, Anthony has not been doing well. It's a 6:30 kickoff. I'm not knowing too much about Regan County. I'll give Anthony this one. We'll see. Regan County. I don't know. So I'm just gonna go with the hometown favorite, hometown team, Anthony Wildcats. Get the win on that one. Brian, I don't know why you're picking against Anthony, but I guess you are. El Dorado versus Montwood. This is the nightcap of the SAC. This should be a good one. Aldorado's got the Estrada brothers back there. Montwood has just been rolling as of late. On last week, unfortunately, they kind of got stuffed by Eastwood, but Montwood, don't take nothing away from them. They're really good. They really, are hungry. Aldorado's really hungry too, but they've had some moments of inconsistency. So I'm going to go with Montwood on this one over the Eldorado Aztecs. Ganotillo goes visits Jefferson. Jefferson just got walloped by Andres last week, and unfortunately, it's not getting any easier as they got to host Ganotillo this week. Ganotillo's the top dogs, and they are going to stay the top dogs. I say Ganotillo wins this game. Skipping ahead towards Saturday, Cathedral takes on St. Dominic Savio, which I believe is out of Austin. Has a 6 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. Um, I mean, I like I said, I've been there, I've coached there, I worked there. I know Cathedral has been this year. They have been up and down all year long. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one. They lost last week, so hey, I'm gonna give it to Cathedral. Let's see if they can win one this week. They look pretty decent. They got some good size, so I'm gonna give it to the Cathedral Fighting Irish over the Savio Eagles. Coming back to Friday, back here in El Paso, you got Chapin versus the El Paso High Tigers. Again, this is another game where I believe seeding implications might be happening there. Both teams more than likely will go into the playoffs, just kind of deciding where there's going to be. So it should be a good game. Chapin has been rolling. El Paso High is practically back to full strength. So I'm going to go with the El Paso High Tigers on this one, as they're just hungry to really redeem themselves after losing some players throughout the year. Parkland goes and takes on the Hanks Knights. Not much to say here. Parkland should get the big win. Hanks has struggled all year long. Parkland has been rolling the second half of the year. They took it to a very, very good Bel Air team. So I see Parkland winning pretty big here against the Hanks Knights. San Eli Irvin. This is a big one for these teams. Okay. They aren't the best, unfortunately. I do know, just realistically speaking, but winner of this game pretty much solidifies their spot into the playoffs. That's what happens when you're part of a 5-team district, guys. You win one, you're in. That's pretty much how it works when you get the top 4 going every year. So winner of this game punches their tickets into the playoffs. So good luck to both teams. San Eli goes out to Irvin Rockets, visit them. So these both teams are real hungry to want to continue into the playoffs. So we'll see. We'll see who takes it. But on this one, I'm going to give it to the Irvin Rockets. They have a couple of wins under the belts. I don't believe Sanelli has. Sanelli has been struggling all year, and I think Irvin will take this one. Fabens and Clint, rivalry week for these guys. I believe it was the Battle of the Cotton Bowl they used to call it. They probably still call it that out there. Far east El Paso. Clint and Fabens has always been a good game to watch. Very, very good competition there. Just a lot of animosity there between the two teams. It's going to be physical. It's going to be rough. It's going to be great to see these two go at it. I have Clint winning this one over Fabens. Clint took it to Mountain View. They got beat up by Pecos last week, and Fabens just got walloped by Monaghan's. I think Clint is a little more hungry than Fabens at this point, so Clint will get the big win over the Fabens Wildcats. So that'll do it here, guys. Once again, I am Jerry, the Jer Bear Alvarez, coming to you from the Prep1 Podcast. Before I head out of here, I just want to say good luck to all of you. Good luck in cross country, going out there to Lubbock. Good luck to the volleyball girls as you play your final game this week and going into Halloween week next week where you play your first playoff games. Good luck to all of them, and good luck to all the football teams moving forward, guys. This is just tremendous competition that we have going forward, and I'm really excited to see what happens in the next couple of weeks. 2 weeks left in the football season, final week left in the volleyball season. Cross country is all but over with 2 more meets left with the regional and the state. So let's see what happens. Ryan will be back next week. We will discuss playoff volleyball. We will discuss playoff football. We will discuss who's going to state for cross country. So a big show next week. and I am excited. I can't wait to see you all on Friday night. Thanks for the support. Follow us on all our Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and get all your information there. Until next time, guys, we will see you later. Bye.